Hello, all you recovering emo kids, and welcome to another episode of Emo Kids Anonymous podcast with your host Amanda and Robb. Hey, Robb, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, Amanda. I'm excited to dive into today's episode. But before we do that, I'm going to ask everyone watching this to like, subscribe, hit the buttons, do all that kind of stuff. Twitter, TikTok, Instagrams, all the other sites. Go do that so I can stop asking you. That being said, I had a nice week, Amanda. How was your week? I understand you recently had a new member of your family.
Yes,
I said
we
that
we
weird,
got a
yeah.
cat. Yeah, that is weird.
A cat.
It is like a member of the family. It is a little kitty cat. Yeah, little kitty cat named Frankie or Franklin after the sheep on the cover of Infinity on High. So there we go. Favorite
While we're
album?
Can I just say, yesterday, I was meaning to talk to you about this. Since we're doing a review show, let me give a little mini review here yesterday. Last night at about 11 p.m., before I went to die in bed, I watched this So Long or So Much for Tour Dust,
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden live performance.
Yes.
Couple complaints.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hit me. What is it? What do you got? What do you not like?
One, I don't like the Alice in Wonderland looking shit. I don't like the big snail. The big
So
snail bothers me. Why is there a big dog? The big dog bothered me. I didn't enjoy the animatronics. The animatronics freaks me out a little. Second, I really only have two complaints. One is that one. Two is I hate the guitars that Joe and Patrick use. What is Patrick playing? Is he playing like a Dan Electro or something like that, or like
I
a
think so.
PRS?
They're a lot of
Dan,
they're his old guitars. Like he brought his own, like they did, I don't remember the name of the guitar channel on YouTube, but they actually went out on tour and interviewed the guys, and he brought a lot of his old guitars from home for the tour. So that's a lot of his stuff that he has. I could tell you, you know what, if you give me 5 minutes, which we're not going to do that right now, but I know exactly what guitars they are because they talk about them on this podcast, and I'll find you the link and send it to you after this. But
okay, yeah, so that's
yes,
number like I was
they
I'm like
all talk about the guitars and stuff on it. Yeah.
Joe's playing this like Les Paul with like it's got like a big like silver plate on it and stuff like that. I'm like this just like it's like very like it looks like something like the guys in like CCR or something would be playing. Like, brother, you guys just let me get a couple Telecasters, get a couple Jaguars or something. Just we're getting too cute with it. And Pete didn't look very excited, but I imagine he's on like he's tired maybe.
Yeah, a lot of people say that he doesn't look excited when he's on stage, which is actually a it's common observation. Some people say it's because he's still learning how to play the bass. Other people say it's because he's distracted by the crowd or thinking about what he's going to say when the time comes, making sure everything's like moving. I know that especially when he has the flaming bass guitar, it's obviously I think that might be when he's having the most fun, to be quite honest, is when he has the flaming bass guitar, when he gets to
Fair.
play around with it. But it is interesting. I do see I thought the same thing, that he looks sometimes like he's not really into the performance, and which is a reversal from it. Could also be sometimes I feel like it's his interior mindset where he's trying to let the other guys shine more after so many years of
Of him being
everyone
the show.
saying, yeah, of everyone saying that Pete's the one who hogs all the attention. He's still the one who talks most of the time on stage, though Patrick does now too. I'm sure you noticed
Yeah.
that
I was
in that
surprised. Yeah,
thing.
Patrick
Yeah.
was yeah, doing a little more yapping. That was nice.
Very yappy and like kind of very like, personable on stage.
Yeah. Coming
Obviously
into
the
his
cat's
own.
back. Yeah, he's definitely a performer now, and he definitely like leaves the mic stand. He's all over the stage way more than the other guys are. Joe never leaves his, like, for the most part, doesn't really leave his area at all. I'm sure you probably noticed that as well, which is
Yeah.
vastly different from like pre-hiatus Joe, even like say rock and roll Joe. I mean, I remember he used to go all over the place. And Joe from like American Beat, like doing like Monument Tour and stuff, he would catwalk and all. But ever since his back surgery, he's pretty much like I stand in one place and I'm gonna play my guitar and
The back
does
thing
not
can be tough
move.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because he had multiple surgeries on it. So, yeah, but I'm interested that I'm glad that you watched it. It's
I was just
yeah,
saying, I mean,
that
yeah, no, I
tour
mean, yeah,
does.
it's still rips. I was like, the animatronic. Just, I was like, why are we doing it? Alice in Wonderland? I don't know. I find fantasy stuff a little disarming
It is a
sometimes.
Pete thing because Pete, I think it's his inner child stuff. I think it all fits with his "There's So Much for Stardust" theme of the
Yes.
album. Going down this wonderland, this whole idea of, your childhood and leaving it all behind. The dog obviously is a nod to to Blitz, who is on the cover of So Much for Stardust. Yeah. So, but he said, what?
I didn't even put that together until right now. That makes sense why the dog was there then. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he here?
Why is he a dog? But
Why
I
is the
know
dog
he,
here?
in a lot of the interviews, he's talked about how they wanted to bring things tangible onto the set instead of it having like just be a video screen behind them, which in the past, like I know Mania was a lot of video screens and a lot of different like videos of things that would play in the background, particularly like political type of montages and things of that nature, depending on what song they were going to be doing. So I know that he wanted to move away from that. He wanted to bring a more tangible experience. Like you could actually like see and touch everything that was on stage with them. And that's what kind of he was going for, especially with the animatronics. You didn't get to see the bunny rabbit.
I did see that. I saw a man in
Yeah,
a rabbit
okay.
outfit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. Yeah. He showed up. Yeah.
Forgot about
Um,
him.
Yes, there was a man. I don't. Yes, the bunny rabbit, obviously from Alice in Wonderland. He stayed out during the Nashville show because that was on Easter. So he's like, "Hey, stay out for an extra song, Mr. Bunny. It's your fucking day, man. Like it's Easter. Like hang out."
Yes.
He threw eggs at people. Like, well, not fake eggs, not real eggs.
I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, this bunny is kind of a fucking menace, no? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, the snail was kind of creepy. They had something else in the original tour dust. It was not the snail. I don't remember the animal they had, but they had another animal that was not a snail in the
A
original
lot
tour
of
dust.
lot
Yeah.
of zoological references in the Fall Out Boy
Yes.
world on the stage. I'm
Yes.
noticing between the sheeps, we're doing mammals, we're doing
Yes.
vertebrateless animals. Yeah, there's a lot of
Yes.
variety there.
Yeah. They have bears now too in the festival circuit. So
Okay, for Foley.
yes, for Foley, the two
Okay,
bears, the
wow.
bear and the little boy and the bear. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but I'm glad that you're not the only one that you noticed that stuff too, because that is stuff that other people have noticed as well.
It was nice though. It's nice though. I just like watching Patrick sing songs, you know?
So do I. I also enjoy.
Yeah. I
And did you like hearing the Daisy Grenade girls come out and sing with him
Yes.
for that was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And
It
I
just went
understand
yesterday.
we will be discussing the Daisy Grenaders today as well.
Yes,
That's
because
yeah.
they
Wow.
yeah, because they just came out with a new single that is the song of the summer. So when we get to our
Many are saying, yeah.
um our singles of the week, we're gonna bring up "Don't Sweat It." So for sure. But
Awesome.
so for those of you, I don't guess I didn't properly introduce this segment. This is our weekly music review. Obviously, you're getting it to the end of the week, and we are going to be catching up on some of the new singles that have dropped. If there are any new albums, which I know that Rob is super excited to talk about the new album we're going to talk about today. You cannot wait. He's just trembling with excitement. His boots are coming out. And then, of course, we also like to bring up any legacy albums that were coming out this month or this week. And we actually have two that I'm super excited to talk about.
And two, yes.
Yeah, one of them because I don't think up until now, because of the tour, this band has not played a song from this album in probably 10 years, maybe on stage. So I'm super excited to talk about
Let-
this album.
let's
Yeah.
start with the classic albums then before we get to the new one. Let's
Yeah,
start with
of
some
course, of
positivity
course.
and
Yeah.
stuff. So what do we got? What do
Yeah.
we got first today?
All right. So the first one we have to talk about because it came out June 25th. We'll go in chronological order as far as dates. So June 25th, 2002, Burt McCracken and crew dropped the Used self-titled studio album, and obviously we get Taste of Ink, we get Bury Myself Alive, Blue and Yellow. This is the album that I'd say definitely helped put them on the map in terms of getting them the recognition as far as being part of the like emo scene. And of course, Goldfinger, it was John Feldman produced this one too, right?
John, I would say this,
Yep.
yeah, John, I think this to me is like kind of where John really becomes a producer as well. Like, I mean, I don't know of any records that he did before this one. And yeah, I mean, John, it really gave John a second life. You know what I mean? I mean, look at him
Yeah.
now. He's, top five in our world in terms of production.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a great day. It was a great self-titled album. I mean, honestly, might be one of my favorite used albums for sure. And yeah, it's it's a good album for someone who's never been introduced to the used that I would say like this is where you should probably start.
I would even go farther and say like, because I think about when this comes out, and this comes out in 2002. So I would have been like, I've been like going into the eighth grade, and like I was like I would hear
Yeah.
rumblings like later on like use the use, and like I don't think in nationally internationally like I don't know if the like let's say a TBS or a third those ones hadn't quite popped off in a
No,
large scale way yet in any
not
way.
yet.
I would maybe argue that this used album, I mean, this album walks so later on Mike Hem can run, like
Yeah.
at the time I think we kind of like people would kind of call this like screamo or something. Like they
They
didn't really have
did.
like
I think
terms
so.
for
We
it.
didn't
Yeah.
have a name for it.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't traditional the screamo thingy, but like that's what we called it because it's like, oh, it's kind of emo with and the guys screaming. And I think like on a mainstream level, this was really one of the first of these albums that really popped off. So
Yeah.
it's pretty important in my eyes in terms of like the
Yes.
general scene.
Agreed.
And I mean, you factor in like there's like an urgency to it where my stance when it comes to most music made by the state of Utah and the Mormonism and stuff like that. Like there's
Toot
not a lot
toot.
of struggle. The issue is there's just not a lot of struggle in that world. There's just a lot of suburban Americana, very comfortable blue, like
Yeah.
white collar, blue collar, middle class. These boys in the used were goddamn degenerates at this time, living in squalor basically, and you can feel there's like this urgency, like, and you see it in like the Taste of Ink video where it's like we need to get the fuck out of this town,
Yes. Yes.
and I think it's great. Do I like the next one more? I like In Love and Death more,
Yeah. Yeah. I like
but
Love and Death a little bit more, but yeah.
this one rips.
It rips so hard. I mean, and when you hear Taste of Ink live, it's such a good like the whole crowd just, I got to see them for the first time at Barricade at When We Were Young this year. And let me tell you, for all the like when people say like Bert's full of himself, I mean, sometimes you're like, he has every right to be. Now, did he go over on time? And that kind of rude to like a day to remember? Maybe. But also, or no, it was Pierce the Veil, actually. Then it was no, yeah, it was Pierce the Veil, then it was Jimmy, then it was Day to Remember, then it was Fall Out Boy. Sorry. I'm getting my thing
Damn,
mixed up.
the
Anyway,
used early in the day, huh?
well, that's probably why they did that too, because remember, MCR did close the show out. We had to, you know,
Keep apart.
oh, keep it apart, keep as far apart. Yeah, right. But no, I mean, getting to see these, like, some of the songs from this album getting played up close was fantastic. And Bert, the whole crew, they were great. And you could still feel that energy on stage too. Like it didn't feel like he was phoning it in by any shot.
Really, really, really. I've seen them used twice. I saw them at Bamboozle Left in Irvine. Shout out Bamboozle Left. I met him there. I'll send you the photo. Maybe we can like real quick,
Yes.
and you can
Yeah,
see
put it in there.
both of us look so bloated. Like he looks like I just like I'm chubby.
Yeah.
I got like blonde highlights and shit. But they sucked. They were god awful. And then I saw them the last year of the actual tour was at 2018. The last year
28.
they
Yeah,
closed the Warped Tour that night in Ventura, and I was just like, holy shit, they were so good. Like he didn't
they're
talk the
amazing.
entire time. Yeah, he's just like at one point he's like Free Palestine, and like at one point he's just like we're gonna do fucking Nirvana, and like that was he said like a total of like 8 words
That's
the whole
it.
set, and I remember just the whole day being like I saw all time low and all time low, just like all day I'm just kind of feeling like I'm too old to be at the Warped Tour. Like I don't think I enjoy this. Census Fails was okay. Like the main was like blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
Some
you're
water
like,
parks,
nah.
and then and I was just like those motherfuckers were like I
And was
didn't
he at this point on his sober journey by this point, right?
I
In
think he would have been
2018?
sober. He would have been
Yeah,
he would have
yeah.
been he was performing like a guy that was clean. In 2009 when I saw him, he was not performing like a man that was clean. He wasn't looking like a man that was clean.
Yeah. You know, some people could probably take some notes on that. Maybe, you know, Adam
Are we
Lazar.
Oh, I was like, so
No,
are we just like in general?
I'm gonna say, I mean, I don't know if that's just him or if, never mind. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
yeah, but no, I mean, this album for me is definitely like a must in the scene and has a huge legacy. So yeah,
They should have McRibbed. I think there's like a clear point where like the used are like right here. They're like
they could
Golden Boys of the
still
scene.
Yeah.
And then My Chem at some point, like My Chem is the bait, is like the little brother to the Used. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you like the Used, and then also My Chem, and then at some point between In Love and Death and Three Cheers, and then Black Parade coming out, it goes like opposite direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it flips around, and then the Used comes out with the third album, Lies for Liar, whatever.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I still haven't even listened to it.
I only think I've listened to like one or two songs on that
Yeah,
album.
I know the one, the
Yeah.
handsome awkward one. That's yeah.
Yes, me too, because of the Transformers movie soundtrack. And that, I mean, yeah, it's like right up there. It's like in the same vein. Like it's in, what else is on that soundtrack? Smashing Pumpkins. And I want to say the Goo Goo Dolls. Yeah, the Goo Goo Dolls song that they had. One of their last songs they did before they kind of like went into the nether and now just do festivals kind of thing.
Wow. Yeah. We're gonna have to
Yes,
do Goo Goo Dolls on this show eventually. Yeah. We're gonna
we
find out when
do.
Disney Up the Girl came out. Yeah. Well, that's getting a special ranking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But okay, so what are we going to rank the
The
used?
seminal debut classic album. The album, my favorite is there was like a DVD for this one. And it's great. Like when Bert is like doing the screaming for like box full of sharp objects, they're just going like full WWE like on him, and they're just beating him with like baking trays and stuff like that to get him to scream. Like
Oh
they're
my
just
gosh.
like walloping on him. Yeah, like it's pretty sick. Like the overall making is like I got like these kids earned it. This is a pretty punk rock record.
Yeah, it's pretty punk rock rocket. Hey, what's the last album they came out with? Hold on, this is what I give it.
I'm going 8.3.
Man, I give it a 9.
8.3. It is
We'll
fair.
average that out. Yes.
I don't. I yeah. I there's some actually no. I love the whole thing's great. Really, it's
Yeah.
great. It's great. 8.3 is still really good in the grand scheme of the rankings we're
When's
gonna have
it is
today.
no, it is. When's the last used
Used
album that
album?
came out?
No fucking clue. No clue. They just keep doing them. There's one called The Canyon or something. The Canyons. I think that's like
That was
2017.
yeah. Toxic Positivity Meds came out in 2024. So yeah, that was like they should have like just gone away and then just
Yes.
came back like
They should have
big.
went. Yes, they should have went away in
Now's
like
the
oh
time. Yeah,
seven and then came back in like 2020.
agreed. Yes. Yeah, that would have been good. All right. So with now Bert and crew out of the way, let's talk about my other favorite band,
About
Pierce the Veil.
the pride of Mission Bay High School, the
Yeah.
greatest San Diego band since Blink 182. Yeah,
Yes. Pierce the Veil. Like, I mean,
it's the
yes.
fucking
And the
veil.
fact that Blink-182 put them on tour, they kind of gave them like they kind of crowned them as their
They gave him the
now.
rub. They gave him the rub.
They gave them the grub. They gave
I
it what
think
they
that
needed.
the tour rub feels more important now than it did before. Like I don't know how
100%.
much like especially on those big tours like could we like Taylor? Okay, did Gracie Abrams and even Sabrina not blow up
Yeah.
extra because of the Eras tour? Turnstile going
Yes.
out with Blink on the first run, did that not help
Yep.
Turnstile a little as well? Like
100%. I'm sorry.
I mean you're getting a couple thousand more people every night, maybe, you know, like on
Yeah.
those arena size acts. So good for them. But yes,
No.
Pierce the Veil was Flair for the Dramatics.
Yep. A Flare for the Dramatic. It came out June 26th, so the day next day, but in 2007. So it's a little bit younger, but this is an album that a lot of people have been dying for Pierce the Veil to play, and I know that they do play some of the songs like Yeah Baby and Yeah Boy and Dollface. They play that one in this tour they've been doing over the summer, and I don't know if they've played Chemical Kids Mechanical Brides yet, but I mean this is their first big album. Now, not with the original crew, mind you. It's only Vic and his brother Mike. Uh, Jaime and Tony do not appear in this album. You don't hear from them until we get to Selfish Machines in 2010.
Oh yeah, so
Well,
they joined. They're in the band at this, or like a little after this, I believe, right?
a
Like
little after this,
they're
yeah,
definitely part of the band and performing with the band, and they are active
yes.
like in our local scene. But then, yeah, 2010, the next album comes out. That's yeah,
Then they're part of like the recording of Selfish Machines,
yes.
all that stuff. Yeah, yeah. But for me, I mean, this album I remember when I first heard it. Obviously, I first heard it when I came out because I became a Pierce the Veil fan rather late in life. So I had to go back and listen to it. So it's interesting to listen to a first album like this when you've already heard, like, the first song I ever heard of Pierce the Veil was from Jaws of Life. So it was like
Wild,
even,
wild, yeah.
yeah, right. That was for me to like fall in love with them that much that I tattoo it on my
Right? Yeah,
body,
and you got him
like
late.
says
That's
something.
awesome though. It's like
Like
finding a TV
that's
show that's been done. It's like if you just discovered
yeah,
The Sopranos or something. It's like I get to go watch
yeah,
fucking 6 great seasons of TV. I don't gotta just get like, like
yeah,
fucking
exactly.
edged. Yeah. Like three,
And get to see, cute scene Vic with his straight hair and his, yeah, anyway. So, but so going
That's just how people from San Diego, you either looked like Tom DeLonge back then. Like there's some of us, we have the Tom look, or you have the Vic look. Dependent. Like, yeah,
yes,
and there's a very large, very proud Hispanic community in San Diego. We're on the border, obviously, and it's like
makes
them
sense.
kids all look like Vic. Like when I played shows at Soma all the time, and we'd be playing, it looked like a bunch of little mini Vic Fuentes out there. This man was a deity in San Diego.
That makes 100% sense, except that he seems to have such an air about him that you like, he's humble
Well,
about that
yeah,
stuff.
no, there's a like
Yeah,
it
it's
used to be a
so
thing.
crazy.
It was like Vic's the hot one, but he doesn't know he's hot. Mikey's not the hot one,
Yes.
but he thinks he's hot, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
no, Vic
Yeah.
was always
Yeah.
like humble pie.
Yeah.
He dated someone like in our circle, like before I knew them. And I remember one time
Okay.
we were having a party. My buddy Brian Street team, I did the interview with in the first
Oh
ever
yes,
podcast.
Bryce Street
We're at a
too.
party, and Vic came to like pick her up or drop her off or something, and everyone just like wanted to swarm down to the parking lot to just kind of like get a look at him or like, well, I'll walk down with you. Like I'm like, there can't just be 9 people walking down and swarming this one man. You know what I mean? I was like, I'll stay up here. But yeah,
Yeah.
very, very big deal. And it's so cool watching this band get bigger and bigger. You know what I mean? Like it couldn't happen to a better guy, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And this album was a great first debut album for a band that was going for a little bit of a harder, obviously 2007, we are starting to move away from the mall emo of like
Yep.
Fall Out Boy, MCR, things like that. Not that MCR is not hard, but let's
No,
face
but
it,
levels to it.
they
There's
became
levels
like
to
a
it.
rock opera. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it became a little more clean. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's definitely there's a lot more, there's the Vic screaming. I'm like, oh my God. I'm just thinking of the songs in my head as I'm like playing them through in my mind. There are just so many just great musical moments in some of these songs that of course would later help influence later iterations of their albums, for like Selfish Machines and Cloud the Sky and Misadventures, things like that. But I think for Vic, this was a great way to really start to hone his skills as a lyricist too, because I think there's some great lyrics in here. You could definitely tell what kind of lyricist he was going to be straight off the bat with this one. And I understand why out of all the bands in this scene, they're the ones that climbed, like just from this debut album. It's a very solid, good first album as a like post-hardcore. I don't know
Yeah.
what you
And
want to call them at this point.
I didn't love a lot of this post-hardcore stuff. That's kind of where I fell off. Like,
Yes,
but
same.
Pierce the Veil to me is just so unique. Like again, I can't like this just sounds like California isn't just like Beach Boys, Weezer. It's like we're Mexico. This is fucking
Oh
Mexico. This is
yeah.
Mexico. This is Mexico America. San Diego's Mexico America. Like they are
Yeah.
like they perfectly like the Latin flavor on like his guitar parts and some stuff like that. Just like the feel it. Like there's little parts where it kicks in. It's like these homages to their culture. It's like this is like in San Diego, our greatest delicacy is the California burrito. It's our regional food. It's a delicious carne asada burrito with French fries, sour cream, guac.
I did not know this.
Delicious. It's we got to get a better PR team on the California burrito. It knocks the shit out of the deep dish pizza, the New York pizza, the Philly cheesesteak, every other regional delicacy. The California burrito is the
Okay.
best, but it's this.
Okay. Calm yourself on the Philly
I've
cheesesteak.
been to
No.
Philly. I've been to Philly. I'll be in Philly in 2 weeks, Amanda. I'll be in Philly in like 2 weeks. And I'm gonna have some more cheesesteaks, and we'll try again because I went there. I had 5 of them.
Okay.
I will gold belly you California burritos. I will
Okay.
find one that does, and I will
I need to
defend my
find,
life
but
on
I
this.
need to eat. I need to eat like a legit, real California burrito to actually
Yes,
tell you
yes,
that
California
it's a
burrito.
better
Yes,
food than a Philly cheesesteak.
it is. It's the best. They're the best. I don't know. Someone please back me up here. I'll defend California Burritos and In-N-Out with my life. But just this, it's a great record. It's such a good. This is such a
It
good album.
is.
It's just it's this. It's so much more unique. Like at this time, a lot of these heavier bands just it kind of morphs into metalcore and it morphs into like breakdown, Day to Remember, the chug chug music, you
Yeah.
know. And Pierce the Veil seemed to avoid all that. They were at like a different level musically, artistically, I
Yes.
think,
All
than
I
a
keep
lot of
thinking
the
of is,
Pierce.
"Do you want me? Do you?" Oh God, I love this. I do love this album so much.
And he can sing his ass off. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yes,
dude,
but he does regret writing these songs so high because he cannot really sing them now as a
I get it.
41-year-old man.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Yeah,
He
I
does
get it.
regret it. Yeah,
I get it.
he does
Yeah, yeah.
regret it.
Drop it.
He
Hey,
said that.
even Mike Chem, yeah, they ain't doing Black Parade in G anymore. You know, they dropped it down.
No, yeah, exactly. I think even like Patrick doesn't even sing that high in Fall Out Boy. Like you just sometimes your voice just is not the same. I mean, ask the ladies. Ask the ladies. They'll tell you. Yeah, ask Barbara. Barbara Streisand will tell you. No,
Yeah.
but this is a great album. It was a great debut for a band like them coming out, and yeah, it's solid for me. I mean, I already know it's hard because obviously then they come out with much more pop. Like I love Selfish Machines. Climb the Sky is probably a masterpiece. We'll get to talk about Climb the Sky one day on here because that,
Yeah.
like, from front to
That's
back.
good.
I mean, between who they chose, to do the cameos in there and guest appearances, from the intro, like just the intro song into the first song, Match in the Water. Like it's like everything perfect, and production is stellar. God, it's hard. What do I want to give this one?
Awesome.
Okay. 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 I'm ready. This is hard. This is hard for me. This is like my favorite child syndrome. Okay. Wait, I can't see yours. You
I
gave
went
it a
with a
9.
9. I gave it a
I gave
9.
it 8.7.
I gave it a 9. I gave it a parentheses 619. Shout out San Diego. It's a 9. Big
Oh,
9 for Vic Fuentes. And they great record.
yeah,
Great
Vicky.
record.
Beautiful record. One for the books.
Let's fucking do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do
No,
it.
I
Let's
don't
go.
want to talk.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What's next?
All
What's
right.
next?
So now there's only one new album we're going to talk about today before we go into our singles Tinder for singles segment. So, and that is Robb's favorite singer of the 2020s is Benson Boone, obviously. And so he came out with a new album. I didn't even know he was coming out with a new album, but he came out with a new album late last week, American Heart. What is it? Electric Blue Man? Is that the song that's on it? That's the new single.
The
Is that the
Moonbeam
one?
bullshit. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. So that's the first single off of the album.
Guy belongs to a religion that doesn't even believe in the moon. What is he talking about? Jesus.
Yeah, so American Heart came out. First impressions. I told Rob that I felt like Benson Boone was trying to be Elton John, Bruce Springsteen, and a little bit of David Bowie all rolled into one. And by that I mean that I felt like he was just taking other people's ideas for like songs and lyrics and like what the musicality should be, and just rehashing it and not making it his own. That's how I felt when I listened to the album. I was like, I feel like you're trying to do a musical version of like one of these artists and you want to put it on Broadway. Like that's what I was like, is that what we're trying to do? Anyways, but what are your first impressions, Rob? What are your first impressions?
Before I dive into this, I would like to put out 2 preambles. Anyone listening to this, you don't need to hear this negativity in your life. I would stop what you're doing and go listen to Bruce Springsteen's 83 song Tracks 2 anthology that came out today of his records that he just forgot about and hidden songs and things like that. And
Here we go.
that's out today. I would just go listen to this. It's a goddamn 6-album box set. Okay, 83 songs. You can go do that instead, because the Bruce Springsteen comparison there hurts me, because Benson Boone, I don't know. Before I get into Benson Boone, let me just say, this guy, he has more money than me. He sings better than me. He has more monthly followers. He has a better mustache than I can ever grow, and he does a better backflip. Okay, I understand. Before anyone comes at me and gets upset about this, but let me just say, some music is made from the heart, and some music is made from the wallet. This is poop made from a butt. This is music This is Savannah Bananas music. This is music for a nation that loves The Voice and Donald Trump. This is grocery store music. This is walk the moon grocery store music for people that can't stop in the soft drink aisle at the grocery store. I don't want to say Benson Boone is responsible for the denigration and the falling of our modern American society, but he is an amalgamation of all of it. It is the blandest music for people that don't like music. This is Mr. Beast music. You know what I mean? This is music. This is music that in a world where Mr. Beast is the most famous person, yet nobody I've ever met can say a single thing about Mr. Beast or knows anything. In that world, Benson Boone is a large star. Like there's nothing here. It's substanceless. It is contrived. It is derivative. It is
Very, very derivative and very
just
contrived.
derivative and just like I read somewhere that he wrote it in 17 days. I think he could have taken
Could
17
too.
years and it still would have fucking sucked. I literally when this
think
came out, I wanted to like it. I was like, please, like part of me wanted to be like, am I doing a Nickelback thing here where it's just like I convinced myself I really don't like this? Let me listen to this album. God forbid I'm wrong, that would be hilarious. No. No, not at all. Not at all.
yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. Because even Mr. Electric Blue, I feel like I was like, I think I've heard this song before. I've heard it done by better artists. Not to say that he's not a great artist, technically, great singer, all that stuff. But I feel like I've seen this shtick all before. And even what you're trying to say, there doesn't seem to be any originality to it. I think there was like one song where he was talking, where I can't remember which song it is, towards the beginning of the album, where he's lamenting how it should have been his father who was the famous one, and he's the one with all the talent. And I was like, I feel like I've heard this all before. I feel like these are lyrics someone else has already written, but not in a new and interesting way, with not something new and interesting to say.
Like if
And
Travis Kelce decided to make a record, like he's like hanging out with Taylor,
yes,
and he's like, I can go make a record too. And Travis Kelce could put together a better record than this. That's rude.
yeah.
Travis Kelce has the
And I
brain
need
to
people,
understand NFL
yes,
offense.
yeah. And I need people to understand, like, you have to look at the lyrics he's writing and then look at someone like a Taylor Swift who can just keep putting out music, and the way she can craft messages and thoughts and feelings. When I tell you it's contrived, he's literally taking things that it sounds like it came out of something that you've heard in the 80s and the 90s, like mid the 80s, 70s and 80s. That's what it feels like to me. But it's perfect for someone who wants to not, who just wants the same type of music over and over
Perfect for
again.
people
He's
that don't
getting,
like music.
yeah,
You know, like we're like
or
yeah,
that
music.
too.
We're weirdos. I
I'm
understand
gonna,
we're the weirdos here. Yeah.
oh, I feel like I'm gonna upset so many friends of mine who do like Benson Boone.
I mean,
Chill, I
a
love
lot of
you. I'm
people
sorry.
like the Big Bang Theory. It's like is the Big Bang great television? Like no, but
No,
like
it is not. It is not.
it's
I will say that with my life.
but
Community is a
it's very
better
popular.
show.
Very popular. Yeah,
It
very
is. I
popular though.
know.
And that's because a lot of people are watching it for art. They're just like, I need something to have on in the background so I forget about like the voices inside my head telling me negative stuff.
Yes.
So,
And did I
you
go
know,
to college with Raj? Yes. Do I have a picture of me and him drunk together? Yes. But that doesn't mean anything. It's
wow.
still a bad show.
I damn, the same college? You must have been in a high program because I'm under the impression those guys are pretty smart, unless that was just a fake thing for TV.
No, no, Raj. So the actor who plays Raj, his name is Kunal Nair, and he's an actor, and he was in
They're
the theater program at Temple University.
not a temple.
At Shadow Temple. So when I was a sophomore, I did a lot of like stage work, stage management stuff. And so I got to work on stage management for a play he was doing, where he was like the comedic, what he did in Big Bang Theory. He was the comedic, like, sidekick in one of the plays. I also got to work with Divine Joy Randolph, who
What
just
that
won an
is.
Oscar a couple years ago
For what?
for The Holdovers. It's a movie called The Holdovers, if you ever see it, with Paul Giamatti. But she used to hang out with me and my friends because my roommate Brian was in theater. So her, and then Poussey from Orange is the New Black. She was a freshman when I was a sophomore, and then she left and went to
Damn.
Juilliard, and obviously then yeah.
A
I have
Temple
like a
Theater
weird
program was
like
kind of popping off, huh? Like
no,
shit.
yeah. Shout out Temple Theater Program. It can
Pretty
produce
efficient.
winners,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
But Big
fucking
Fake Theory.
Kentucky, yeah, the Kentucky Wildcats
Yeah.
of like thespians.
Yes. But
Shit.
but Big Fake Theory, yes, still yes, exactly. Just something to put on the background.
It's
Not
youth.
a
It's
great
like,
show. There are
do you remember maybe in high school or something like that? Maybe like there'd be like a ballot or like a talent show thing, and maybe there'd be like some kids that were in actual bands, but then there'd be like maybe some youth group kids or some kids on like the football team
yes.
or something, and they'd get up there and they'd play, and it's like they play the guitar really well, they sing really well, but like
Oh, yeah.
art is like I don't give a fuck if you're the best singer in the world. Like you can go find a better singer at a church in the South somewhere. Like art is about
Yeah.
like expression and having something to say, and I
I
don't
agree.
think this dude has a single fucking thing to say.
No. I yes, that's the problem. I can't I even look at the have you looked at the credits to see like who the writers are on these things? I feel like
Normally
if
I
you
do
looked
that.
at the
With this one,
credit,
I was just in such a trance, just really
yeah, because I
thinking
would be
about
curious to
existentialism on prom
see.
night shit. Yeah,
Yes, I'm gonna hold on. I want to look at it just to see like
I'm
the,
curious. How many people we got on these songs? How
so
many
like
people
it's
are? Yeah,
so well as far as I know, there's at least three writers on the single, which is Electric Mr. Blue. Which when I saw I did send this to Rob the video because I was like, I feel like this is directed at you. This
he's all
song,
upset that
Rob.
everyone's all mad at him. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
If
yes.
Benson Boone has no haters, I'm fucking dead. Okay, like
I mean,
it's my rule.
yes. It is funny though, because in my Fallout Girls group chat, my friend Cheryl, and I'm sorry, Cheryl, is a fan of Benson Boone's first stuff. And she's like, guys, Benson Boone's second album, I don't know if I like it as much as the first, and a lot of people are kind of panning it. And I said, oh no, Rob's gonna be so mad to hear that other people don't like it too.
I'm no, I'm happy to hear this. Yes, I'm happy to hear that. I mean, you guys can like whatever you fucking like. Obviously, it's our review show. You know what I mean? Like if you want to say
Yeah,
this is
it's
good,
true.
you can make your own review, find your own Amanda, make your own show. You could do that. Like it's just yeah. I understand. Yeah, the Benson earlier stuff. I understand had a lot more integrity to it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's nice. It's nice to
Yeah.
see America united behind. Like I really feel like my Twitter feed. You know, like for a while there, all it was just like pics of Patrick Stump hog outline, and now it's just like generational Benson Boone hating, and it's nice. It's nice. It makes me
Yeah.
happy. It's nice to see Pitchfork is back and they're clowning on him. It's nice to see that the publicate like there used to be a world where like we got into this thing the past few years where I think like there used to be like a divide between like music critics and popular music culture, and they kind of started to like
Yes.
intertwine where like even all the big publications are just like we're all kind of just jerking off and doing think pieces over like the pop albums that there isn't always supposed to be that amount of substance. And it's nice to see it's back where it's
No.
like, yo, the dog shit. I mean, dog shit's okay. Like, look, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies are dog shit. Like, we can still enjoy those, right?
Yep. Super Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also
yeah,
dog
yeah.
shit.
Not everything's great. You got so yeah, yeah. I'm not calling you a bad person for liking this, but I am calling Benson Boone a bad person.
There we go. So what are you gonna give American Heart as your rating? Um,
Hold on. I changed my mind.
did you talk yourself out of your rating as you were sitting there talking about
I
not
was
being a
originally
bad
gonna give him a
person?
one. I was gonna give him a one, and then I felt bad. I felt bad. I felt bad. Felt bad.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? What'd you give him?
0.5.
What the heck? My God.
Went with a 0.5 on this one. A 0.5 on this one.
If you could have gone
This is
negative,
what
you would have.
I thought about, but there's got to be there's going to be something worse in the world. You know, this isn't the worst thing ever, but it's definitely the worst thing I've listened to all year. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, 0.5 I can live with. I didn't want to do a zero. Zero just seemed too gimmicky, but 0.5 works. 0.5 works.
0.5 works.
I was upset at you for like 3 hours for making me even listen to it, but I understand it was an important thing that we had to do. You know, so like 0.5.
Yetter. There we go. 0.5, 5. I'll average that together for a rating for Benson Boone's American
0.7.
Heart.
Yeah. It's gonna average out at about a 2. Yeah, there we go.
A 2 out of 10.
It's okay. It's not bad.
That's okay. It could be worse. It could be really worse. Yeah.
Could be,
Could be
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
worse. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Sorry,
So
Benson.
now with sorry, Benson, but those jumpsuits are super nice. Rob and I, we're gonna get ourselves some
Yeah,
jumpsuits.
we get some
Some
jumpsuits.
black
Yeah, oh yeah.
jumpsuits.
He also loses points for like lending that jumpsuit to the reptilian Mark Zuckerberg as well. Like I don't know, yeah. Just a whole weekend's gonna be off now. Just thinking about Benson Boone. I gotta go
Okay,
outside.
well, let's not think about
Let's move
that.
on.
All right,
Let's move on.
let's move on and think about our
Let's start
next segment,
swiping.
our final segment. Let's swipe. Are we going to be swiping left or swiping right on some of the latest singles that have come out? So, do we want to start with the obvious one? Because I'm
Let's
so
start.
excited to
Let's
talk
get
about
it.
it.
Let's get it out of the way. Yeah.
All right. So the first one obviously comes from our ladies of Daisy Grenade, Keaton and Danny, and that is Don't Sweat It. That dropped last week and it is an absolute bop. If you wanted to ask me what the song of the summer was going to be, I would probably not have guessed like about 3 months ago that it was going to be from Daisy Grenade. But this song, it is like what you want from a Sabrina Carpenter. It's what you want from any of these pop divas that you see
Yes.
today. And these girls are delivering it in the best package with a little bit of attitude. They even came up with they do have, if you ever watch them live performances, I have gotten to see them a few times live. They come up with dance numbers and stuff, and they have a little dance. Our entire Never Phase Network
Yeah.
crew, our
If
NAP
you guys,
crew,
yeah, you guys have
yeah,
seen our videos. Yes. Yeah, we
yes,
like the
we've
dance.
all
We
done
like,
the
yeah.
dance. We love it. All the guys. Rob does a great
Yes.
version.
Yeah.
Yes, look at him.
I
I
do.
mean, he's
Yeah, I do
bringing
a
the heat,
slotted
guys.
up one. Yeah. It might get
Yeah,
a
he's
little trappy.
well, we needed variation, Rob, so it's okay.
Yeah, 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 no,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Nurse Trap Summer is just right on the horizon. Yeah, coming. It's coming,
Yeah,
you
so
guys. Yeah.
it's coming. But it has been my song. My daughters love it. They're 9 and 3, absolutely adore this song. From everything from the verses to the bridge, that jumps right into that chorus, just like when it's like my plane takes off at 10 o'clock, it's like boom, boom, and it's like, oh, don't
Boom.
sweat it. It's like, oh, such a bop. I can't like I'm so excited for normal people, the regular outside people of our scene, to grab this song and take it, because they're the kind of girls that need to be on tour with like Taylor at some point. They need to be like in that whole arena, the edgier version of all these different pop queens that
Agreed.
we have been seeing. Like
My
they need to. That
my
song is so
only
amazing.
only issue is not with the song. The song is like, I mean, I feel like I like hit you up like that, and I was like, oh shit, like this
You
bops. Like,
did,
okay.
yes.
Um, my only issue is in regards looking at it from like a marketing branding standpoint and like, I don't love they have these youth, they use words like visualize or visual things like that. I don't love the video that they've
Yes.
released so far. It makes it feel like they are too much a part of our scene. I think they should be being presented as fucking pop stars, like a separate thing. They shouldn't be being presented as like
Yeah.
a in our world so much in this video. It appears small time to me in a way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
You want them to be,
they
yeah.
I want them to be like position them and present them as a Sabrina, as a like as a Charlie, like just visually. I mean, production wise,
Yeah.
you can do that. I think the shot of them performing live at like looks like a chain reaction, small venue like that.
Hmm.
It doesn't present as well as they could on it, because I agree, same thing where it's like this act could blow up and they should blow up, but I think a lot of it comes down to also label stuff as well. Like hopefully they get enough backing there, and hopefully it could
I
pop
think
off on
that
like TikTok as well, would help.
I hope so. I mean, I know we've been doing our part, try to help it pop up on TikTok. Us and our network
Yeah,
of
yeah, we're doing it.
small time emo influencers. We're doing our
The
best.
yeah, the elite emo
But
influencer network.
yes. And I have noticed, like, obviously I follow all of their socials and things like that. So they've been getting noticed on a lot of different media circuits. They're getting noticed on Spotify. They're getting added to like best
They're getting
pop
added to
fresh
the big
finds. So they are,
playlist. Yes.
yes. So to the playlists that matter, they like when you're added to the pop fresh finds, that means they're getting added to like where you're going to find stuff like Sabrina Carpenter's Manchild, which we just talked about last week,
Yes.
or maybe the new Lana Del Rey just came out with an album, a new song, I think. Or
Yeah.
no, Lord did. I'm sorry.
Lord,
Sorry.
yeah,
Lord came
yeah,
out with a new one.
our Lord,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. So
My
you're seeing
lord,
like
yes.
they're going to show up in the same playlist as these people, and they're just being offered a different flavor of what they're used to seeing. But these are the same. We have to keep in mind, Days of Grenade are the same girls who can also do a mean cover of Sabrina Carpenter's Taste, but at the same time can do a really mean cover of King for a Day by Pierce the Veil. So they are quite a they're very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Versatile.
Ubiquitous and versatile. Yes, they can just do all the things and also do amazing splits in sync, which
Oh, splits. Yeah,
is
I
incredible.
can't do splits. Yeah, I can't do
I
that at
can't do
all.
that. So
I can't
that's
do splits.
fantastic.
Or yeah, they do better
Yes.
splits than me. Benson does a better backflip.
Yeah, I feel like they have that potential.
Borderline,
And I think they have the
borderline friends
backing.
of the show, I would say too. You know, borderline friends of the show.
Yeah, Borderline Friends of the Show. Yeah, Borderline Friends of the Show. They're great people, and I think they have the backing of their label 100%.
So
So
yeah,
I'm expecting some
yeah,
great things.
I hope they
The
can
fact
push
that
him.
even Fallout Boy put like their stuff, like even Fallout Boy on their main put like something in their stories about date, like of all the label people, the label mates and stuff, they put a hey, Daisy Grenade has a new single out. I think that says something in terms
I think
of
so. I think
backing
so.
from label mates and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, definitely for me. You already know what I'm gonna say. I mean, that is the right
Yeah,
one, right?
yeah.
I don't know. I always
We
forget.
gave it the super like. Yeah, I did the one that you pay money for.
Yeah, the one that the super like. Is that
The
what that
super
is?
like.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they'll see it. I believe. I'm not sure. Whatever. I spent like 10 minutes googling this. I was like, I can't have this in my phone history. Like, let me just figure out the technicalities of it.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
All
We
right.
like the Daisy
So
Grenade. What's next?
we love the Daisy Grenade. Next one we have is from an older band, a legacy band. Haven't heard from in a while, but I guess they saw everyone else was making some money and thought it was time for them to come back. Though I did see them in 2023 perform when we were young, and I will say they killed it. They were fantastic, and I could
Talking about
feel the heat from the fire from their
you talking
stage,
about
and I wasn't even in the barricade.
the boys from Waldorf, Maryland. Is that who you're talking about? The
Oh
twins?
yeah, hell yes
The
I am.
twins?
I am. I'm
The
talking about the twins, the Madden brothers, and
man.
the Madden brothers.
The
DCMA.
maid boys.
I,
The maid Billy
yes,
Martin. Oh, whatever.
yes.
Random guy drumming and the twins. You know, my son is named after
And the
Benji
twins.
Madden. Benji is named after Benji
That's
Madden. I like to say he's
I
named
didn't
after
know it was
Benji, the doggy
Benji.
movies. Benji's
Nope,
yeah, his name yeah, no, Benji Madden, yeah. I didn't pick that obviously, but like yeah. So
Benji
like
Madden.
yeah.
I didn't know
Man.
that. I mean, no, I did know that. I think I did know that. Anyways, but it's perfect. So we have a new song. It came out on June 25th, called Rejects. It's going to be off of their new album, Motel du Cap, which will be out later this year. And I mean, they made a big deal about it. I think they did something with Jimmy Kimmel Live, which was really
They
interesting
performed
because
on
Jimmy
Jimmy
Kimmel was
Kimmel.
on break. So
They
was
had a
Diego Luna. Yeah.
they did a billboard and I think on like Fairfax here in LA as well, which I kind of thought for a second they were gonna do like a pop-up or something. I thought they were gonna do like a pop-up shop or something, the way they
Oh,
advertised it,
nice.
because in that area that's usually where like the cool pop-ups go. But it ended up just being the album announcement and some like weird mascot outfits.
Yep. That sucks. It would have been cool to see them actually show up and do a pop up like thing. I think
Yeah.
that'd been pretty neat.
But what do you think about what do you think about the actual
But
song though?
Rejects. Well, I know we talked a little bit about it before we started to go on air. I feel like haven't we heard this before? And what I mean is by what they're trying to say, like mommy didn't love me and daddy didn't love me, and I was a, you know, I was kind of a hurt, lonely, lost boy, outcast type of thing. And I was like, I feel like this has been, you guys have, you know, touched on this theme quite a bit throughout your time in Good Charlotte. And now as 40-year-old
A little
men,
bit.
with children and a whole new perspective on life, I kind of was hoping
And
that
A-list
they would,
celebrity wives, yeah.
yeah, I was kind of hoping they would have something different to say. And it brings me back to, and here's what's interesting. No, he didn't say it on Joel's show. He said it on the Apple interview. Pete Wentz had said that, the problem with doing a throwback record is that it sounds like men with pools, swimming pools, doing throwback records. And I
Yes.
feel like that's the vibe I get from Rejects. It sounds like men who now have money for great production, but doing a song that would have sounded great coming out from like 2001 Good Charlotte.
I I kind of get that vibe on 95% of their music post Lifestyles album. This is
Yeah.
a band who's literally they become essentially become famous by singing about the lifestyles of the rich and the famous. Fuck these rich
Then it
people.
became famous.
We're poor. And then they became so rich that like at one point they owned tigers. Like at one point, like I'm pretty sure like at one point, I think Joel owned like Evander Holyfield's old or Mike one of their old homes where like there was they had
Yes.
a pet tiger. Like this is they're dating celebrity women and celebrity teenagers, you know, like they're mega
Yeah.
big and it just it yeah, it feels like exactly what you're saying. I think at some point, yeah, so they do Good Morning Revival. I enjoy that album. That's 2007. And then there's one
Yes.
after
I
that that
like
I didn't
that
care. I
album.
think
Yeah.
Cardiology is, and then they went away for a while and then they came back because of the Five Sauce stuff. And I saw them when they came back, and I think they do a decent job of like some of our bands in our worlds are very much very clearly comfortable being rooted as the nostalgia band. Think of like a Hawthorne
Yes.
Heights. I
Hawthorne
got that
Heights.
vibe from
Mm-hmm.
Good Charlotte.
Simple Plan too. Simple Plan,
Still,
same
yeah,
way.
a
They
lot of
love
these
being a
very,
nostalgia band.
very few bands from our world, like okay, like a Fall Out Boy is trying to push it forward a little bit, you know, like My
Yes.
Chemical ever made
They want
another,
to
if
be
the
different.
MCR5 ever happened, but like these bands are just rooted in like, and I felt that with the Good Charlotte show, and I like in a good way, where it's like, you know, they're like, yo, these songs are gonna take you back to middle school. Like they realize, like, we are your band from 20 years ago,
Yes.
is what it is. So I mean, I'm not
Yes.
surprised they did that. I think a lot of the fan base they will eat that up still, but like I'm with you. I'd like to hear something else. I think maybe I just had like too nice of a childhood that like, you know, too much of like the sad kid stuff. I'm just kind of like, yeah, get over it, brother.
Yeah. I mean, I had sad kid stuff too happen to me, not like on grand scales, but also I'm ready to hear music. Like that's what I like. So that's what I like about Mochi's soundtrack. We talked about She Is
Yes.
Afraid last week. And when you look back at some of their older stuff, what I appreciate about what Justin Courtney Pierre writes is that it appeals to me. It would appeal to me as a 19-year-old, 16-year-old, but it appeals to me as a 40-year-old, almost
Oh yeah.
40-year-old as
Oh
well.
yeah. I can go listen to
Like
those Motion City
you can,
records right
yeah.
now, and yeah, it still connects.
And like I feel like you could still attract, like obviously Rejects, I'm sure there's some now teenagers who are gonna, take that message and like really like, yes, I feel this is me, and hold on to it. And that is wonderful. And I love that. But they could there's still themes that they could address that, how we always talk about the things that Pixar always did well when they created their movies, that it appealed to both the adults and the kids.
Yes.
There's a way you can make your music appeal to both, where like as a teenager you get it, but then as you get older you realize how more relevant those lyrics become. And I don't know, not everyone is a great lyricist and has great thoughts to think, and that's fine. So, I'm not going to fault them for that. But at the end of the day, you can do that. It is a possibility. But Motion City is like most recent example of someone who can take something that young kids would gravitate towards, but then even as someone who is older and been through some stuff is like, this resonates with me still. So there we go. That's kind of my 2 cents on Rejects. I don't know. We'll see what the rest of the album sounds
We'll
like.
see. We'll see. They had two records since they came back. And I remember that first one when they came back around like 2016, 15 or so. That one, I
Mm-hmm.
like that one. That one's good. Then they did one after that that was like the whatever, like the something RX is what it's called. I don't know. I don't know. They're like skull faced on there. And I remember I saw them on that tour and they only played like one song from that album. It's like they kind of just knew like, okay, this one kind of bombed. You guys want to hear girls and boys and shit.
Yeah,
So
pretty much. Yeah,
I don't
they're
know.
like, that's what you want to hear. Yeah.
Good for them. You know, I think
So we'll have to
The
see.
Madden brothers are fucking geniuses in my opinion. Like they're like a step below like a Pete maybe in terms of just like entrepreneurial spirit
Yeah.
in our scene. Like they're great. They're
Oh
management
yeah.
company. You ever listen to the Madden brothers
Yeah.
solo album?
What they've been able to make themselves. I have
It's good,
never
right?
listened to their solo album. No, I have
Oh,
not.
the solo album kind of rips. You can't find it on streaming services for some reason. You have to go to like the YouTube, but like I'll send you some bops. Like, no, like there's some songs on there. it rips in like a like they did a lot of performances like instead of late night they were on like The View and shows like it
Okay.
has like kind of like a daytime TV like adult a little more chill than Good Charlotte, but like
I love it.
they
Okay.
rip, they
Okay.
rip, they rip. Yeah, I'll send you some of them. They got some bops. Like they're
Okay. Send
very
me some of
talented
those. I
brothers.
like to see it. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, aside from, what people might have, their, issues with, Joel Madden and, the age of Hillary Duff when they dated and all that stuff. Uh, yeah. Aside from all that, I mean, I do like them, like just generally in general. Like I love watching his podcast that he has. I love
Artist
like
friendly,
how
yeah.
he's really great with interacting with the guests. Like I find his stuff very interesting.
No,
So they
I
have,
feel
yeah,
like
definitely an entrepreneurial spirit for sure.
they were good at like like especially in the 2000s when everything is big major like it's more of like very businessy. I feel like Joel and Benji are just really good at business. You know what I mean? Like marketing and branding and communicating. Like they seem less damaged than a lot of the artists in our world. You know what I mean? Where it's like I can see how the other ones kind of keep stepping on their own toes. I feel like Good Charlotte did a good job of always kind of like
Yeah.
overachieving. You know?
Yep. Exactly. I think so. All right. So are you going to be swiping left or swiping right on rejects? Not Good Charlotte, just on the song itself.
I thought really hard on it. I'm swiping right, kind of. You want to swipe
Okay.
left,
We're
huh? We're
swiping
swiping
left.
left. Okay.
I
Okay.
try. I want to try, but I don't know if
It
it'll.
was a tight. It
I'll
was a
give it a few
soft
more
swipe
tries,
right.
but I
Yeah.
don't know.
It was close.
Yeah.
I almost wrote left on
Yeah.
this. I really had to think about that.
Yes. All right. So let's talk about another female who loves making a splash in our scene, and that is Scene Queen, fresh off of her gig at the DC Warp Tour, playing 18 plus, which must have been so fun for a lot of the bands that were there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It must have been a blast. But she has a new song called L-Shaped Couch. And I don't know, what are your thoughts on it, Rob? As a man, as a man.
I mean, you know, I don't know if I should be the representative for men. Pretty good. Pretty good. Like I would call it lesbian switchblade disco, LSD.
That's a good way of putting it. I definitely enjoy it very much. It is a bop for me. Is Yeah, I could get down to this song. I was enjoying it thoroughly. I like a lot of her tongue-in-cheek stuff that she does with her songs, and this one's no
I
exception,
had
even with
actually
the
never
title of
heard
the
her
song,
until
L-Shaped Couch.
I knew of her. I knew her name. I just hadn't heard like actually heard the music
Yes,
until this one. And yeah, it's like right up in the air for me. It's a good track. I don't know if I would go back to it personally, but
that would make
didn't
sense. It may
it
not be
didn't
for you.
it didn't bother me in the way sometimes I'll hear something I'm just like, oh, this isn't very good. Like it was good. I was just like, okay, this
Yes,
might just not be in my range, so
wheelhouse.
to speak. Yeah,
Yes.
necessarily.
All right. So
But
what are
we
you gonna
like the
give it?
scene queen, and we like what she does. So
We
like,
do.
yeah, I didn't want to do it, but I did swipe left like just barely. I didn't feel
All
good
right.
about it.
I swipe right because
Okay.
I will listen to it again for sure.
Yeah, I didn't feel
Don't
good
worry.
about it. I wanted to honorary swipe right it, but like I can't damage the integrity of the swiping system, you know?
Yeah, the swiping system, we cannot let it be flawed.
Yeah,
All
exactly. Yeah,
right.
it needs to be some truth to it.
All right, next one. Let's talk about Kill Me for Always from Michael Clifford of Five Sauce or 5 Seconds of Summer fame, off of Hopeless Records. Shout out to our friend Kanan, who is
Shout out
an
Kanan. Yeah, we
intern
got a
over
lot of
there.
hopeless acts here. He's a
Yeah,
lot of
we
them.
do have a lot of hopeless acts. So this is a little bit different than the stuff that he's put out with Cool and the song with Austin from Water Parks. It is definitely like it's an acoustic, slower vibe, kind of trying to showcase, I guess, his range as an artist. Something a little bit different because keep in mind this is his solo outing away from Luke and Callum and Ashton, the whole five. Did I miss a Five Sauce member?
No, you got
Luke,
them all.
Callum, Ashton. Did
Ashton,
I?
yeah,
Okay. Whew. Okay,
you
to
got
make
it.
sure my sister would have a heart attack if I didn't. So that's good. I'd be not invited to the next party for Five Sauce if that happened. So, but
I don't
I
know how
mean,
I feel
it's
about
it's
five.
fine.
Like, it's fun. It's fun.
Five Sauce or
Well,
Michael
I just
Clifford's new song.
the individuals in Five Sauce and Michael Clifford
Oh,
and
okay.
the new songs like it's good. It's a good song. I just remember when when the band really first blew up, like after their second record. I remember them doing like a Rolling Stone article and just being like these kids are gonna need some help, like someone doing some PR for them. Like they were a little too excited to be famous. They were like talking about like telling the interviewer about like
Yeah.
their fleshlight and stuff like that. I'm like, brother, you got to play it cool. Like, this isn't the '80s, you know. I've seen them around LA, a few times like at shows. Like at the Good Charlotte show I mentioned, like I remember seeing a couple of them there. Like
Oh,
Luke and
yeah.
Ashton were there. Like they seem like really nice guys. Musically, I don't know. I feel like it's a little pretentious, and I feel that with this song as well. It's like Michael's like I don't know.
Trying too hard.
I don't know if he's got a solo album in him. I don't know.
I was curious about that. Like, do you have something to say? And I don't know if that's there. I mean, it's a fine song, but it doesn't really stick out to me in anything different, new, exciting, even acoustically. So, I mean, and Cool was a
Chorus.
cute song when I first heard it. What'd you say?
This song has a strong chorus. Like I enjoyed the chorus. Like I listened to it a few like
Strong
before we did the
chorus.
show
Okay.
a few times over. Like the chorus has me on the edge of swiping.
Chorus. But what do you think you're going to do at the end of the day? You think you're going to swipe left, swipe right? What do you think? For Killed Me for Always. Is that a left? Swipe left. Same.
Or
Man, my
swiping
writing needs to
left.
get some work.
Sorry, Michael Clifford.
Sorry. It's
Yeah,
not
I've been putting a lot of work into
just
my
not really
writing.
for us.
I was told recently I don't write very well with the words, so I'm trying really hard to make my letters look nicer.
You're doing a they look great.
Thank you.
They look fantastic. Yeah, this is some good handwriting practice. That is why they give kids these whiteboards in elementary school.
Is it?
Practice their handwriting.
Oh,
I don't know. I
I
don't
was like,
know.
I don't remember ever getting one of these in school.
Yes. All right. So I think the last one we want to talk about is Hollywood Undead Savior. Hollywood Undead. We have not heard from them in a minute, but they still tour. They're still touring. I know they're one of Rob's favorite acts, I'm sure. Definitely one of those, again, as a woman, you gotta leave your feminism at the door for
You
it.
got yeah. If someone knows all the words to any of the Hollywood Undead songs, that is a red flag. Just in general, like
I do know people who know all their songs.
if you're too into them, like there's a good chance you have one of the following. You either got you got some priors, you got an energy drink and cigarette addiction. You maybe spend a lot of time outside that gas station. Maybe you dropped out of a career college at some point. If you're a girl, maybe it was like a beauty school. If you're a guy, maybe you went to go to like one of the schools learn how to be a welder, and maybe you got like a DUI during it, so you had to drop out because you couldn't get there. Not great behavior music. That being said, super cool guys. I have a personal experience I told you about
Yes.
with one of the members where I
Yes,
sold
you
his wife
did.
a
Tell
car.
me about it.
Angel Human, the
Yep.
wife of J Dog. His wife Vanessa bought a BMW for me at the dealership. Very nice, witchy lady. I'm afraid of saying too much bad because I do believe she can do curses, and I don't want to be cursed upon. But
No, I don't want you to be either.
I don't. Yeah, no. But I don't think. Yeah, Hollywood and Dead. I don't know if this is something we need in the world.
I will say when I heard it, and I was telling you, I was like, I'm gonna talk about this on the air, but especially when it gets to like the chorus and stuff, it reminds me of this song. Reminds me of a newer band that came out from my old hometown, Harrisburg, PA, called If Not For Me, who I'm actually gonna get to see live here soon. And they're obviously like a hardcore metalcore type of band, but they have a song called Alone, and I was like, this song like sounds like it. Not the words,
No, but
but
you think
just
they
the
did the melody for
melody, the
Malone?
instrumentation. Yes. I don't know if they dipped the melody. It just like just the overall the sound sounded a lot like it. And I was like, oh wow, okay. But I love that song from If Not For Me. Like, and they're a small band, like up and coming kind of band kind of thing, been working their butt off um to even get to where they are. So it's I was like, oh, I don't know. I kind of already heard something like this before, and it's okay. Honestly, I like Hollywood Undead the best when they're doing their "Everywhere I Go,
Yeah.
People Always." Charlie.
When I start drinking,
Yeah.
my dick does all
So
my
there we
thing. Great,
go.
yeah, great line.
Yes. Great line.
I just
Again,
think for
I
the
leave it at
youth,
the door.
back when we were kids, you kind of tell like red flags a lot easier. Like like if they're yelling along the Hollywood Undead or the 303 too much. But now, yeah, it's tougher. I imagine for the youth now. I don't know. I don't know if there's clear
to
red flag
understand that.
artists today the same way there was when we came up.
I agree. No, I don't think
Yeah.
there are because everything's too meshed together. It's hard.
I mean,
The
Benson's a red
algorithm's weird.
flag, but
Yes.
yeah, that's a different kind of red flag.
Yes, that's a different cover.
That might just be a flag that's
All
so
right,
green it
so
turns red. I don't know.
that's true. Yes, it's like Christmas. All right.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna give this one?
Swiping left again. Swiping left again. I'm
Damn,
sorry.
we are just there we go. Swiping left.
A lot of
A
left swiping
shame.
today. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, today is not really like yeah, next week we gotta
We're
find some
kind
better music.
yeah, we're kind of in a musical drought right now. Thank you, Daisy Grenade, for keeping
I
things
know.
afloat. Come
But you
on.
know what? I know, right? But next week we do have our weekly music review. We are going to do something a little bit different. We
Oh
are
yes.
going to be focusing on albums with American the title or about no American the title, right? Is that
Yeah,
what
I
we're
guess
doing?
yeah, a
Albums with
little
American
American
the
themed.
title?
Yeah, I guess we can kind of yeah.
Yeah, American theme.
So you'll see some American Beauty, American
Yeah. So we're
Psycho, Born in the USA. We'll have to find some other ones. There's other
yep.
ones.
We already did American Heart, so we are not going to retread that path. We are not going back to Benson
No,
Boone path. We're done.
we're
We
not
did that
doing
one
that.
this week.
Benson Boone using the
American
American
Idiot,
flag. Yeah.
baby.
Oh yeah, American Idiot. There's one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna look back at some of that stuff. But do we have any more singles that we want to touch on today,
I
or
think we
was
did
that
it.
it for us?
I think we did. I think we swiped our way into
Awesome.
oblivion. I think we did it.
Yeah. I
Thank you
guess
for
we know
sitting
we'll just
through.
be
Yeah.
listening to Daisy Grenade.
Yeah, we're just like it's gonna be a lot of Daisy Grenade this week. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna go back and listen to that first used album again because yeah, we got something nice going
So
on
too.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too, in honor of it. But yeah, so next week we got a lot of stuff lined up for you guys. We have a couple interviews,
Got a couple
a
interviews,
little
got
bit
a
of
couple, yeah,
yep.
music
Go ahead.
industry stuff. We have some cool bands on the horizon in the next couple weeks. We got motherfucking Kerosene
We
Heights coming
do.
up soon. We're working right now. I'm doing a little, I believe we're gonna have Leisure Hour on the show very soon. I'm trying to get us the like Pokemon style, complete all of the DIY emo band gyms. You know what I mean? We've had combat, like if we get all
Yes.
these, we get them all, like just you guys come here, you're welcome here. We want
Yep.
to,
Just get them all.
yes, let
You
us
are
love you.
welcome. Yes, yes. Let us love you. And then we also have a great therapist we can recommend you as well to make sure that you stay
Yes.
safe
We'll
out
send you
there.
to Daniel Rinaldi afterwards, huh? So we keep you, keep your brain
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because being famous in today's world is tough. And being
Yeah.
in a band is tough in this world. But yeah, so we have that. We have American albums that have American the title review and maybe hopefully some new singles that drop next week. We'll see. Something
Love
cool
something.
before the 4th of July. Who knows?
There we go.
I know. We'll have something.
Magical
Exactly.
time.
But don't forget, guys, before you leave, if you haven't liked and subscribed to our channel, please do that on
Please.
Spotify, on YouTube, on Apple Podcast, wherever you get it, wherever you're watching this. Go to our socials, Emo Kids Anonymous. We do not have a Facebook. We have a TikTok, an Instagram, and a
Nobody
Twitter.
has Facebook.
So
Yeah, you
check us
should.
out there. We post clips of all our shows. Yes. And Robb's been dropping some really awesome skits. So you got to check it out on TikTok,
Yeah.
man.
Well,
You gotta
that's
check
not
it
me.
out.
That's Glenn Cutwater. That's a totally different guy.
I'm sorry, Glenn. Totally different guy.
Different
Not
guy.
Rob.
Yeah.
Glenn.
I'm not responsible for
Yeah.
any of the things that guy says. I don't even know
Yep.
him.
Just a
Different guy.
middle-aged man who just does not vibe with his son's choice
Yeah.
of music. Yeah.
It's not me at all. It's a
Yeah.
different
There we
different guy. I cannot say that enough. Yes. But
go. Okay.
I hope I see you next week because I tonight with our friend Ricky, I'm going to be trying some Malort, which this will be out after this. But pray for me, pray for my survival because might be a tough couple days for me. We'll see.
Let's all wish Rob luck. Hopefully, I'm going to see him ready to do a podcast on Monday night. We'll see
There we
what
go.
happens.
Sounds good. We're
All right,
ready.
everyone. Yeah. Thank you all for listening and watching today, and we will catch you all next week.
Goodbye.